Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Hunt, the Supernatural Watch Along podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and I am joined, as always, by Ali
Hello.
and Kieran.
Hi.
And this week, we are discussing Season 1, Episode 13, Route 666. Initially aired on the 7.3 out of 10 on IMDb. The synopsis, according to IMDb, Dean is contacted by an ex-flame who asks him for help when black men in their hometown are being murdered by a driverless racist truck, which is actually reasonably accurate, but it sounds funny to say it out loud. The episode was directed by Paul Shapiro and was written by Eugene Ross Lemon and Brad Buckner. The show, as always, stars Jared Padalecki as Sam Winchester, Jensen Ackles as Dean Winchester, and this episode has Megalyn, I apologize for this in advance, because this is not an easy one. Megalyn Ikenwoke as Cassie, Kathleen Nunn as Mrs. Robinson, and Alvin Sanders as Jimmy Anderson, and Gary Hetherington as the mayor. Yeah. What did you think of this episode? Ali, what did you think? Were you expecting a ghost truck in this one?
I just Pirates of the Caribbean just came directly to my head as soon as they described how the truck was. So no, not until they actually described the truck. I didn't expect this kind of episode.
Pirates of the Caribbean came to your head?
Yeah, because of the way that they
the Flying Dutchman. They mentioned the Flying
yeah.
Dutchman, and
Yeah,
I know what you're saying. Yeah, and the Flying Dutchman was traditionally a ghost ship, so it makes sense. Yeah,
yes,
ghost ship, ghost truck. I get the connection.
Okay, cool. If you both get the connection, that is fine. You're madness, but okay.
I mean, I didn't think of Pirates of the Caribbean, but I understand the connection. I see where that's coming from. We didn't have Johnny Depp running through the running from the ghost truck.
That would be a tonal shift for the episode.
It would be different from previous episodes in the show.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true.
I think I'd be okay with it. Might be fun.
You'd be okay with Dean or Sam with their like dreads and one of their wee pirate hats. Just I reckon Jensen Ackles could pull that off. Actually, I think he could do a convincing Johnny Depp. As far as I'm aware, he's never done anything like that, but I wouldn't mind seeing it. So this episode opens in Cape Girardeau, Missouri, which may or may not be our first episode in Missouri. I don't know because I've not been keeping track until this point. And we see a truck, big black truck, following someone and going to run them off the road when the truck appears to vanish. It then appears as if by magic on front of them, and does in fact run the guy off the road and kill him. And we then get Dean telling Sammy we're go and investigate, and they kind of discuss Cassie and their Dean's and Cassie's past a little bit. They talk about Cassie being an old flame. What was your thoughts on this, Ali? Did you about do you buy it?
A little bit more backstory on Dean, that's for sure, because we only knew so much up until this point, and even throughout this whole episode, we don't get it all. We just get in drips and drabs, and then towards the end of the episode, it culminates that the guy's not just a total dick the whole time. He's actually a little bit of the opposite when it comes to certain people.
Well, I mean, even Sam is surprised that he he saw a female more than once It was a recurring thing, and like you say, the kind of information is dropped throughout the episode, but
Mhm.
what is dropped kind of early on is we find out that Cassie, reached out because she knows what Dean does.
Mhm.
Uh, and the reason she knows is because Dean straight up just told her, which Sam wasn't very chuffed about after saying he was lying to Jess for months, and Dean just
Blotted
tells
out.
someone. What's your thoughts on this, Kieran?
I think that's probably the most important bits in the episode is their interaction between Sam and Dean on how they both dealt with, interpersonal relationships. Sam, albeit ran away from home and left the family business, as they call it, but kept it secret and quite personal, quite reserved. Uh, Whereas when he talks to Dean, he's definitely the more emotional of the two when it comes to let's talk about our feelings, everything like that. Whereas Dean's the opposite in their own dynamic, but then probably finds it easier to share his feelings with people he's less personal with, as we've seen when he, after a week tells their big family secret. Rule one, we do what we do and keep our mouth shut about it. Great line by Sam. So yeah, I think it
Mhm.
really shows that the their emotional intelligence outwardly varies to how it does within the family, which is it's quite a nice dynamic, which is I think plays out well in this episode. One of the better things in the episode, in my opinion.
Okay. So as the episode continues, we find out that the death at the start of the episode was not the first black man to die on that road in recent time, and someone else
Mhm.
died in a similar fashion. However, no tracks have been left other than their own, so they believe the mayor and the police are insisting that said men have simply lost control of their own cars and gone out that way. Um, yeah, we then get another victim, um, which again is a crash, and this one car flips, and I was like, "Is that doesn't seem enough to have killed him?" But it did. So, what you gonna do? You know, what's your thoughts on the special effects and the stunt work in this episode?
D- bit dated, bit dated. I still overall enjoy the ghost truck. It's you feel tense when the car is in certain scenes chasing people, and that's it's quite good. I do have a few gripes with the episode. Uh, Predominantly Cassie's character. Uh,
Oh, yeah, I mean, we can speak about that now if you
yeah,
like. I was going to save that for later.
yeah,
But I was going to save it till the love scene. So
okay,
let's hold off talking about that until we get to that scene. Um, if you're happy with that.
yeah, that's fine.
So, because yeah, well, we'll discuss it then. Anyway, we then posing as insurance, uh, working for an insurance company in full suits. Did you lose me for a second?
Yes, you went very robotic and slow.
Okay, everyone back to normal up here.
It would appear.
Yep. Okay, then we'll go back. So yeah, Sam and Dean for the first time are posing as working for an insurance company, and they while doing this learn the backstory of the truck and learn that it was rumors that in the 60s black men were going missing. Um, yeah, then we get an unfortunate love scene between Casey and Dean. There is an argument between the two, and the two of them then hook up. Ali, what's your thoughts on this scene?
Uh, nice wee love twist to the episode. Again, it gives gives us more to who Dean is as a person, which is nice. But also at the same time, it wasn't needed, I felt as well.
I
Just
mean, it was like weirdly long. It's not like they
yes,
hook up and
yes,
then the camera pans away and you're left with the
which is a
impression of what
normal,
happened.
yeah,
It's
which is a
like,
normal thing, yeah.
yeah, it's weirdly long for a TV show, and you're like, why? It does seem a bit unnecessary, I suppose, in that part. Well, Kieran, let's get to your thoughts on one, the love scene, and two, the character of Cassie.
So, yeah, I would agree. I think the love scene is long to the point of almost awkward. I don't
Yes.
think it's particularly well shot. I mean, definitely PG-13, which is fine for a TV series.
I
I have
feel
to
like it's
understand.
shot like an 80s movie. The only thing it was missing was the saxophone.
Ah, or a
Like,
classic
so,
porntash from the
so,
80s. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, just anyway, good song as well. We all love George Michael. Uh, but just yeah, it was too long. It just felt kind of out of place. And it really doesn't help that I really don't like her character.
okay,
I
so
think
so
she
what is it?
plays her character very well. I think she
Okay,
is
then
phenomenal in it.
you and I are in complete disagreement.
Okay.
I think
So,
she's a terrible actress.
see, I'm the opposite. I don't think she's a bad actress. I just don't like her character in this. I think her character is a reprehensible human being. So,
Okay,
and
see,
quite frankly, I was rooting for the truck.
oh, okay. See, I didn't get that with her character. I didn't necessarily think she was a bad person as such. What I do think is I don't think the actress played the character very well. And in the scene where her and Dean are arguing, there was no chemistry there, which made them actually hooking up feel
Awkward.
more awkward.
Yeah, I didn't
Because
think there was a lot of chemistry in that scene. Yeah.
there was no chemistry between the two. I don't think she does a good part at any point in the episode, which is a shame because I think so far Supernatural has done a great job at hiring actors to play the side characters, to play our guest stars and stuff. They tend to do very, very well. However, in this episode, at least with this character, because it's not true for all the cast, I think the actress who plays her mom is very good.
See, I
And yeah,
disagree.
okay,
I
fair.
feel like your mom's chewing the scenery.
I thought
Okay,
it
see,
was
Uh,
very
I
dry.
I think her mom does really well in the scene where
see,
she explains everything.
see,
Um,
I'm the opposite. I felt like I was watching her mum do a Nick Cage impression and just be unbelievably big and over the top.
yeah,
And I just want to caveat, I love Nicolas Cage. For
okay.
anybody that likes Nick
Well,
Cage, love his
with
film.
you
But
definitely you choose
oh
the,
yeah,
yeah,
the
he hands
man's
off, yeah.
hammy. He's
For
hammy. So
but yeah, I felt the actress who played Cassie, I didn't buy her in this role. I feel like they hired her not because she played the role well, but because they were after a very attractive black girl, and she ticks all those boxes. So I think they're like, yeah, she's what we're looking for. So they brought her in, and because there was just no chemistry between her and Jensen Ackles, it does make that love scene super awkward, especially because it's so long.
yeah.
Now, realistically, it's probably only 45 seconds or thereabouts, which isn't that long. But if there was, what you think
In a
is longer, you're
45
looking,
in a 45-minute episode, 45 seconds of screen time is quite a
it's a
long
10th.
time.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
10th of the episode. Yeah, but it's,
It's not true.
it's, no, it's not. No, it's not. Anyway, doesn't matter. We're not here to discuss my math, okay? What we are here to say is with the awkwardness of that, it just didn't work. And had there been more chemistry between those two, a 45-second love scene probably would have just been like, oh yeah, whatever. As is, felt it was pretty bad, and I feel she was horrendously miscast.
I think it was her lines and everything that were poorly delivered. For instance, she was a complete race baiter, which annoys me off the bat. Accusing the sheriff of being racist. Oh, they were definitely run off the road. There's one set of tracks in every accident. What the fuck are the police meant to think? I'm sorry, they're not going to assume invisible ghost car because that's unreasonable. So for her to automatically jump to racism really annoys me. And I'm like, because yes, there probably are some racist characters from the 1960s in America. Makes sense. There's probably some racist characters from now in America. But to automatically assume, they must be racist because it was black people that died. It's like, or maybe they just thought, they all had car accidents because accidents happen. Statistically, dying in a car crash is fairly likely to happen to people over the course of their driving life.
Okay, I mean, I don't necessarily disagree. Um, she did kind of jump to that quite quickly. However, we do know that, and it is explained that there is a history of racism in that town, in
Yeah,
particular. So
agreed.
I
If there was
don't
a
think we're,
second set of tracks, I would have said, okay, it's perfectly reasonable for them to say there's someone killing black people.
and
It's
you're
a
ignoring it.
racist
Yeah,
killer.
yeah, I get
That's
that.
fine,
So
100%. But the police aren't going to jump to invisible truck or a truck. Oh, it's a hovercraft. It doesn't leave any prints. That's what it is. And it's just like, you clearly have an idea in your head, which is why you've called Sam and Dean, but you can't insinuate racism because no one else is looking into things because you haven't shared all the information. If you share the information saying, by the way, we think it's a truck from this racist dickhead from the 60s, he's coming back and killing black people, maybe we should look at this. Bit more information for people. Well, maybe that's something we should think about instead of just, people are dying, it's car crashes. Just madness. Makes one
Ali,
slap.
what's your thoughts on Cassie as a character?
Yeah, I tend to agree. Don't get me wrong, very attractive actress, but at the same time, very just very one-minded about things, and she jumped to conclusions an awful lot, which kind of annoyed me.
But again, I'm a bit more forgiving for her for these for this stuff, but I don't necessarily disagree with you. I'm just I think I get it. She's grew up in a town probably used to being discriminated against. It's probably not unreasonable for her to think that. Um, yeah, but who knows? I mean, we're reasonably sheltered when it comes to these things. Growing up in Scotland with the most diverse city in Scotland still being over 80% white.
Whoa, whoa,
Uh,
whoa. 3.4% of the Scottish populace is non-white. So, I mean, that's really small.
3.4% as a whole.
It's
That's
something like
madness.
that. It's
Yeah,
terrible,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We are a very white country. This is a fact. So,
I mean, there is only 6 million people, and most of
yeah,
us live in 2 cities.
it's a
Uh,
small country.
yeah.
Anyway, we then get to the mayor being chased by a ghost truck. And I bet you at this point he was thinking, holy shit, they did get run off the road. What?
Great, probably.
By that point, unfortunately for him, he was
Only
too
you
late.
told me before.
And yeah, and he is killed by said ghost truck and pulls a really funny face when he does it. The truck doesn't hit him and he falls over and he's like, "Arr." I couldn't help but laugh at that. So, anyway, we then find out that the mayor had a piece of land, or bought a piece of land and burned down the old house in it, the Dorian house. The Dorian family having once owned huge parts of the town. And it was the day after the house was burned down that the killings started. Don't believe in this released, activated, woke up the spirit of Cyrus Dorian, truck driving black man killer.
just a query. Just want to throw it out there. We
Okay.
did see the clipping of the house that got burned, like knocked down by the mayor.
Right.
It was, I say classical architecture in the sense of American classical architecture, built in early 1800s, colonnades at front. It looked like quite a nice building. Could have just done with some renovation, new work, leveling it out, make sure there's no subsidence. So the mayor kind of deserved to die because it was quite a nice building.
We're knocking down this whole
Yeah.
house.
So,
The truck then turns up and terrorizes Cassie. Although the truck turning up seems quite pointless because it's the first time it's turned up and not killed someone. Instead, it's just revving outside her house and shining lights on, full beams. Like, put your beams down, dude. Yeah.
maybe he was trying to get her evicted with a noise complaint. I'll show you.
And yeah, that's when we get Cyrus's full backstory from Cassie's mother. Again, I think she done this quite well, but you think she hams it up a bit much.
Yeah, I thought she was hamming it. Yeah.
Okay. What's your thoughts on this scene, Ali, where we get the backstory of Cyrus having killed people in the 60s and them killing them and disposing of the body?
Nice story, but I felt the way the actress delivered it, and this could have just been the way she was directed, just felt very dry, as in she was getting it out very slowly. And I know from certain situations when you're trying to describe the past, you do get out slow because you're trying to remember everything. But yeah, she just delivered it very dry for me anyway. I didn't feel anything for when she was telling the story.
Okay. We then get on to our kind of final big sequence of events. Sam and Dean get in a tractor, pull Cyrus in his truck out from the swamp. They burn the body, salt and burn it, because that should take care of the spirit, which almost never works in this show. Like, literally, almost never works. And just as one asks if they think it worked, Sam, Dean's like, no, I think we just pissed it off or something like that. And he jumps in the Impala, jumps in Baby to lure it away and tell Sam to work something out. Sam querying how he's supposed to burn the truck. Sam calls him on the drive and tells him to park exactly 7/10 of a mile, I believe it was, down a specific road. Thankfully, it's not my maths, or we'd be in trouble there.
It is. Query. If people are in the comments. Do Americans use miles?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'm pretty sure Americans use miles. Yeah, kilometers is in Europe.
Yeah, good book. Because we use miles. I didn't realize. Because, yeah.
Yeah, that's because we only use part of the metric system. We're like a weird.
Oh, yeah.
we're
Let's not go in our system. For weighing
well.
ourselves, we use stone. Fuck is stone? Ridiculous.
However, yeah, in Europe they use kilometers. In the
miles
States,
per
it is
liter?
miles.
No, it's miles per gallon. Do you do your
So-
petrol by gallon? No, we do our petrol by liter. Because we're fucking crazy. Yeah. I digress.
Yeah. So yeah, we're stuck in a weird place. Like we
Yeah.
need to choose a system and stick with it. Well,
It's pure
first,
base 10. Done. It works.
so it's fun when you go across to Europe and your car doesn't have kilometers on it, but all the road signs are in kilometers. So you got to try and work out what you're driving as you convert. Like, oh, how many kilometers miles can I drive? It's yeah. Anyway,
60 miles, 100 kilometers. Done.
yes. So, but unfortunately, not every road is 100-kilometer-an-hour road. We're sorry. Just stick at
Just take it
60.
in percentile. Should be fine.
Well, but yeah. Theme parks the Impala, and the truck tries to ram him, obliterating itself for driving onto where the old church was, hollowed ground. What was your thoughts on this, Ali?
Yeah, it was an okay scene. It seems they were base as Cassie's mother was telling about the story. It was like he touched an awful lot of the area for them to try and take away any essence of him, and it was like I understand that try to stretch it out a little bit more, but as the episode went on, I was like, he couldn't have covered all of the areas that they were touching. You know, it just a bit of that just didn't make sense.
I don't understand what you mean.
Like when when the mother was describing all the places that he had touched, like the church and this area and that area, it just seemed very much of quite a stretch for him to have touched everywhere that they were hitting.
Kieran, fill me in here.
On what Ali's saying,
Aye, on what Ali's saying.
I have no fucking idea.
Sorry, forget about it. This is matter. Sorry.
Okay, well, Kieran, what was your thoughts on this scene?
I mean, the CGI is terrible. Absolutely terrible. It, I like the interaction between Sam and Dean after the scene.
When Dean asks, "What if it didn't work?" and Sam
Sounds
says,
like-
"I never thought of that."
I never thought of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like that. That was amusing. But that's probably the best takeaway from the scene. The actual truck disintegrating, becoming almost like mist as it washes over the umbrella was you can tell it was done in 2006.
So, on your Hunter count, I struggled to give this to because
It's a
the
Sam
plan was
kill.
definitely Sam's, but the execution was definitely Dean's.
That was a Sam kill, 100%.
I mean, Dean drove the Impala. Dean lured it. He just done what Sam said.
Exactly what Sam said.
Yeah,
Dean
but it's
didn't
like
have
if
the
Sam-
idea.
If Dean had the knife in his hand and Sam said, "Stab it in the heart," and Dean stabbed it in the heart,
Completely different.
it is absolutely not
No,
different.
completely different.
So, I'm leaning towards that being a Dean kill.
Oh, there we go. Bias. Bias, ladies and gentlemen in the audience. Bias.
Ali, what's your whose kill do you think that was?
Definitely Sam's.
You're both mental. You're both mental.
2-1, you're
Okay.
vetoed, sir.
Okay,
Sam.
2-1. We're going to give it to Sam, which puts us at Dean with 6 kills and Sam with 4. There you go. The episode then wraps up with Cassie telling Dean that she doesn't think it will work out between them.
Oh,
And
I think we
Yeah.
were all distraught at that moment.
yeah.
and that's how it goes. Sam and Dean drive off into the sunset. Yeah, is what it is, right?
Another way to wrap the episode up in a wee bow. Will Cassie be in the next episode? No, that's not happening at all.
Nah, she's not. And
Undusted, you know?
yeah, I think they potentially would see how audiences reacted to her as well before they, worried about whether they were bringing her back or not. Okay, our ghost truck. Kieran, where would you? I mean, I'm saying right up. I'm placing it in D. That's a genuine placement for me. That's where it goes. It might be better than the bugs. in my
Better than the
opinion.
bugs, but
So,
just.
Yeah, I would
or
agree.
you're-
Yeah.
So okay, all three of us think low D, D
Yeah.
above the bugs. Then okay,
Yeah.
that was a very quick quick tier list for us. So right, reasonable placement. Okay, Kieran, final thoughts about the episode and what would you score it out of 10?
The episode has 3 or 4 scenes that I like, which are mainly interactions between the brothers. It is not an episode I will watch if it's on its own. I don't think it's bad, but I don't particularly enjoy it. I'd give it a 5.2.
5.2. Okay, Ali, final thoughts, and what would you score the episode out of 10?
Yeah, well, as we've discussed in the past, not every episode can be a banger. So this definitely wasn't a banger. I didn't love it, but I didn't dislike it. I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay. Uh, I'm going to score it a wee bit better than both of you. I did not like the actress who played Cassie. I think she was miscast. I think a different actress could have done much more with the role. Um, but unlike you, I wasn't opposed to her character. I think it's absolutely fair that Dean, that we get to. I like the insight into Dean that he's had a relationship before that wasn't just meaningless to him, and I think it humanizes him a bit. Like Kieran said, it adds you kind of see different dynamics with Dean out with his family than in with his family. So I think it adds a bit. That being said, the ghost truck's not great. Um, the stunt work in the episode in general could have been better with some of the car chases and stuff, but the interaction between the brothers is good. I'd probably give it 6.5. So yeah, we were better than how both of you scored it, but at the same time, um, you know, not pretending it's one of their best episodes. And with that in mind, come and join the hunt next week watching episode 14, Nightmare. And until then, safe hunting. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.